What's up YouTube, we're back with another original and pretty spicy deck list today. I tried to make use of Braum's recent buff in this one. Braum of course got his HP increased from 6 to 7, but of course in his unleveled form is still a unit that is only a blocker and can't trade. And to ensure that Braum actually does something in game, I thought about pairing him with a card that has been almost forgotten. Troll Gifts is a card that when it first got released, people were actually thinking about calling this overpowered because it looks very strong on paper. The issue, of course, is that there aren't a lot of very good cards that have regeneration in the first place, but 2 mana, burst speed, and grant someone +2/+2 permanently is super strong on paper. Especially considering you give this to units that are very sturdy and will usually trade over and over and over since they heal themselves. So having that concept in mind, I knew I had to play Troll Gifts with a deck that runs a reasonable amount of regeneration units. So the choice for the champions was pretty easy. Braum and Trundle, both solid champions as well. And I wanted to have this deck be thematically consistent and therefore played more of the Troll package. Troll Ravager is our third target for Troll Gifts, greatly benefiting it. Now, since we already were halfway there, I decided to go all in on the Troll package and also include another card that recently got buffed, and that is Faces of the Old One, gaining 1 HP and therefore being a much more reliable ramping tool. And we ended up with this, so a control deck that goes for board control and board presence in the early and mid game though. Most Freljord control decks just go for avalanches, ice shards, blighted ravines, but we try to contest the board instead. And here we have our explosive top ends, which is meant to close out games very quickly and flip the game fairly early on, because keep in mind we play quite a bit of ramp here. So let's look at the early game first because it's a bit more self-explanatory. Omen Hawk is in here just because if it hits Faces of the Old One or Braum, it's absolutely enormous. It's also very good on these regeneration units. Just increasing the stats on a regen unit means you get more value out of it overall as the game progresses because it's more likely to survive. To also make sure our units survive, Troll Chant, one of the best combat tricks in the game. Paired with Troll Gift in this deck, the combat tricks are actually insane. I already touched up on Faces of the Old One. The other units are a bit of stalling and board control tools, so we're pretty low on removal. That's why Glory Seeker is actually a great addition to this. Especially if you pair it with Troll Chant or with Iceveil Archer. Iceveil Archer can also be a stalling tool in the late game or in the mid game, buying us some additional turns. Troll Scavenger is one of the big payoffs to playing this archetype in the first place, this Behold synergy. 2 mana 4/3 is just, to put it simply, it's blatantly overstated, especially if it gets an Omen Hawk buff. You can sometimes get a 2 mana 5/4 unit. Pretty good in the current meta to block out poppies that swing at you. This basically holds the early game together and makes this deck somewhat viable. But yeah, what really sets this deck apart and what makes it fun are these spicy top-end combos. So I was looking for some ways of closing out games reliably. And of course, Feel the Rush comes to mind immediately. But in this deck, it's not as immediate of a game ender as it is, for example, with Tryndamere Trundle. Because Braum, of course, does not have an overwhelm tag. He's more of a board control tool. So if he gets 10/10, he can trade once per turn very effectively, but he doesn't quite close it out immediately. And Trundle as well needs to be leveled. If he's just a 10/10 regen unit, it's nice, but your opponent still has a bunch of turns to actually get their own game plan through and maybe, I don't know, Darkness, grow, and finish you in time. So instead I went for some finishers that were almost long forgotten. Warmother's Call, one of the spicy additions to this. And the reason is that we don't go all in and focus too much on our champions as finishing tools, but instead we play some great Noxus splashes. Farron, of course, needs no explanation. Also good if he gets pulled from Warmother, is not only an overwhelm, but also giving you decimates, so you can still finish your opponent in their turn. Atakhan is one of the true champs and the true heroes in this deck. If he pops onto the board from Warmother's Call, I mean, mostly in this deck, he's even stronger than an FTR Feel the Rush champion would be, right? He usually grows to like 20 and 12 or something. And if you do pull him, it's just a very reliable tool of actually closing out the game. And another synergy I really like in this deck is playing Incisive Tactician as a rally tool. Of course, this deck does compete for the board in the early and mid game, so you'll often come into the late game with a board advantage, and then with a rally, I mentioned earlier on, this deck does not run too many overwhelms apart from the top end, but if on the first attack you clear out all of your opponent's chump blockers, the second attack is fairly likely to actually finish your opponent. It also has this great synergy that we don't have too many reputation cards, but that doesn't matter at all. It's an 8 cost and therefore counts for all of the behold effects. And the most interesting thing is that that even works if you already have reputation triggered, because that only applies after the card gets drawn. So say, for example, if you play Voices of the Old Ones, even if you already have 4 reputation stacks, you draw the card first since it's still an 8 cost in deck, and then in your hand it turns into a 6 cost. It's a very lovely interaction, and of course very synergistic with all of the Behold cards, and super synergistic with Atakhan and Farron. Now the only card I didn't mention yet was Voices of the Old Ones. Again, we try to turbo ramp, we try to get to these big win conditions as fast as possible, and since we already do have good early game cards, I think we can be a bit greedy with this one. Now the ratios with this deck was one thing I struggled with the most. I did end up on 3 Voices and kind of splitting these finishers around. Feel free to play around with this a bit. It might be worth it to go to 3 Atakhans or 3 Incisive Tacticians. It's a bit of a thing of comfort, to be honest. And also this list is far from refined. A lot of different ideas were thrown around. Maybe playing 3 Sisters or Flash Freezes for better stalling. Maybe playing some Avalanches or Blighted Ravines for anti-aggro, anti-swarm. Maybe playing something like Kindly Tyrant Keeper for the early game against Burn. Just do as you please. But I can just tell you, the core of this deck is super fun. This was a blast to play. It's definitely not the strongest of decks. It's not the most consistent. I wouldn't really recommend it for climbing, but if you want to have fun, if you want some fun combo to pop off, this super fun to play. And of course, I have some gameplay examples packed with some fun highlights for you. Enjoy.
Is it the mustache? Who knows?
That's a good question. I think in this list, yes, because of stuff like Troll Gifts. And we have other types of win conditions. So Warmothers is going to be discarded. How badly do we need to ramp here? Do we run the 2-mana ramp? Yeah, of course. Of course we do. I think I keep this for the 2 Behold effects. I might have to mulligan more aggressively though in general.
Footprints here.
Are you ever getting reputation for Tactician? That's the thing. You don't want to get reputation because it beholds. It's an 8+ cost Behold card. But yeah, I might replace 1 or 2 Uzgars with Farrons. I like the idea. Mama's got a gun.
A chill in the air. Be here and ready for fight. Now whole hunting party.
Can you guys think of a better 1-drop than Omen Hawk? Not really, right?
Should make a speech. Where's my speech?
Pops in your hat. I put it in your hat this morning. On it and on him.
Like, I'm just theory crafting in my head right now the whole time. I think I'll do some slight changes. I cut 1 or 2 Uzgars for Farrons, and I definitely want a second Voices in this.
We made it. Yay. But our stuff did it. They've never seen a contraption like this before.
But ideally, I would want to not cut Omen Hawk because I think I'm mulliganing incorrectly. I think I need to look very hard for Faces. Because the payoff of Faces into a 4-drop is really high. 4-drop on turn 3. Oh, that's a problem.
Go away.
Throw your removal at me, I dare you. Where's that Buster shot? Where are the Ravenous Flocks? Thank you. One, 2 Crimson drop could be better than Hawk. Not really if I'm curving into Faces, Icewind Archer, Glory Seeker, right? Wondering about adding a Star Spring on a Trolls only deck. That's also an idea. Just play Braum, Trundle, Star Spring. Plus ramp, plus more control tools. Yeah, but the whole idea of this is that you don't want AoE removal. Okay, let's hope for no mini-morph and we can actually win. It's annoying. But point still stands. Trundle grows quite a lot here. Plus 4, 13. Oh, we need to pull this so my opponent doesn't regain mini-morph mana, and I think we got this. Just hope for no Scorched Earth.
Let's make cookies. This is Mama's house.
Man, people just don't expect this, I think. They just don't see the rally coming.
First let the blood, then stop the heart.
Disrespect attack.
Shall we bully off?
Sure you want to do this?
Oh wait, he gained the mana. Oh, I just noticed he gained the mana from frickin' Torture Prodigy by itself. That's really weird. That is so weird. That also might have cost me the game. Actually, we have the second rally. Never mind. We're fine. We're chilling.
You dropped something. I dropped everything.
These aloofs are annoying, but hey. These are the true carries, aren't they? Yeah, Usgars might be cuttable in this list. Even though it hurts to say this. Disrespect attack. Show me your Ravenous Flock. Bring it on. The good thing is, even if my opponent... So my opponent only survives with Scorched or Flock into Pokestick or Group Shot, and then they probably don't have the last pint of mana to play the Bilge Water unit. Unless they also hold Fizz, of course. GG! It's working! It's working. Okay, this is the matchup that I wanted to find. Let's see if we can get something done. Glory Seeker into Glory Seeker against a deck with no pings is lovely. Archer isn't bad. I think I like this.
Victory requires a sharp blade. Face me.
Do you think Poppy could work well with Nocturne Nightfall aggro? Doesn't sound like it would work.
I am more than I seem.
Oh, this is gonna feel so good. The Troll Gifts block. Bring it on. Interesting. Oh, that's an issue. Sharp side can be played, so I don't want to play, do it on Shyvana. She benefits way too much from a sharp side.
You're mine.
Smash, smash!
And no TTS on Donos? I think there are TTSs on Donos. I don't quite remember. Wait, unfortunately I also didn't read it. Sorry, I mean I didn't get a notification, but thank you to whoever sent a dono. I suppose that was Cracker what?
The trolls are going to war! Go to war!
I might need to change the settings then in Streamlabs. Cracker what?
They look angry. Nothing's tougher than a troll. Agonizing mind.
Okay, so this is a problem. So next turn I have 7 mana again. Just play faces, I suppose. Voices, I mean. Yeah, voices into Warmothers, let's go. Just hope opponent doesn't go Eclipse into ASol here. Noise.
Monsters with heart are still monsters.
Oh, he gets drawn even though we already triggered Reputation. This is actually some sick synergy. Only gets Reputation while he's in hand. Playing for having a stall out board wouldn't Flash Freeze be pretty good? Yes and no. I mean, we play Icevale Archers for that reason. The thing is, we are contesting the board in the early and mid game, right?
Suffer my fury.
Okay, I don't want to give Shyvana a level up. Let's skip here. Warmothers into Atakhan. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. Let's go. Omen Hawk. Ah, that's actually a good pull. Atakhan might just die to a concerted strike, but what can you do?
The strength of the sun and my faith are one. No more talk. Apocalypse.
Shyvana levels anyway here. I think I just wing these in. I need board space. On design deck, yeah, most definitely. I mean, if opponent doesn't have concerted, we just win here. Holy smokes.
Witness my true power.
One way to finish a game. A GG. That worked surprisingly well. Alright, another easy matchup. That's what I'm talking about. Probably keep Trojan to protect the faces. Alright, we got the ramp diff, ramp advantage. We got the disrespect attack.
How soon Demacia forgets.
Easy turn 4/8 mana.
I am more.
Monsters with heart are still monsters.
Ah, never lucky. But we already have what we need in hand. No! Oh.
Strike at them.
I mean, it doesn't really delay us, technically. Next turn, we couldn't have Warmother anyway. We're just banking spell mana. And we'll be fine.
Is it the mustache? Who knows?
I will protect it with double Troll Chant if needed.
Smoke, ash, and dragon fire.
I'm very scared of single combat here. I respect it. I won't play Troll Gifts yet. Oh my god. Alright. Let's see how we can contest this Shyvana. Ah, not a bad start.
They are nothing. Now I take to the sky.
Okay, that's an issue. I don't know how we get past her. We're dead to like the next pull into Strafing Strike with an Overwhelm. Warmother's great again? Yeah, but I'm not sure if it's as great as this dragon on steroids. Nice pull. Exactly what we were looking for. Man, why am I playing this? I don't even want to draw these cards. I guess then I do have something to do next turn though. Right, we might not be dead yet. Maybe we are, maybe... Wow, we got this. Easy game. Can't really do anything when my opponent has Strafing Strike, right? I could play ASol and just sack him. Not Farron. Second Warmother and mill a bunch of units? No. Ah, now I could. This just looks like a clean Atakhan to me. You know what? Screw it. For the content. No third Warmother for us. Technically winnable though. Please don't have a strike effect for Atakhan. Please don't have a strike effect for Atakhan. I almost have hope. Let's go. You got this. Carry me. I'm not sure if this is a BM Shen or a GG Shen. We did it! We found the dragon's counter! The one and only, the perfect deck.